Yo, what's going on, guys? Seems like DeMar DeRozan is heading to California, specifically Sacktown, Sacramento Kings, in a sign and trade, which means if it is a sign and trade, it has to be a 3-year deal. He says he's not taking a discount, so it's not going to be a mid-level exception. My assumption is that it's going to be a deal in the 30 millions, as they've also came out and said the report that we're hearing is they don't want to take money back. So first off, Sean Cunningham is saying that after he spoke with several sources that there's mutual interest between the Kings and DeMar DeRozan and that he's heading there. And then there's from Woj, we're hearing that it's going to be a sign-in trade. Chicago doesn't want a take on salaries, so expect a third team to be in the deal. So what I put on here, we've heard the Pistons want to be in the business of taking on deals. So in a sign-in trade, let's say a 3-year, $104 million deal, something like that, based on $35 million. You send Kevin Huerter. The first scenario, as you guys see, is Kevin Huerter just goes straight to the Bulls. Young guy, you can only take half the money back in a straight-up sign-in trade. So half of that money would be 16.8 times 2 is about $34-35 million, which is what they would give DeMar DeRozan a 3-year deal. You send Kevin Huerter that way. Then you send Harrison Barnes to the Pistons, and the Pistons send Wendell Moore to the Bulls, who the Pistons got in a deal with the Timberwolves. So that way you walk away with Wendell Moore and Kevin Huerter, a young guy who's still in his rookie contract, and then another guy who's 26, 27, not a bad deal. And for me, if you look at the rest of the other scenario is you have the Kings send a second-round pick to the Bulls and a second-round pick to the Pistons just to sweeten the pot. But to me, I feel like this deal would just make everybody just happy. And I just think it shows that if you wanted to go ahead and try to find a better player on the market than DeMar DeRozan, you're not. The only option is Zach LaVine or Brandon Ingram. And I think, first off, Zach LaVine's on an inflated contract. Then Brandon Ingram has both of these guys, Brandon Ingram and Zach LaVine, have durability issues. And they're both more ISO-centric scorers. And I know somebody's going to be like, well, isn't DeMar more of a mid-range, somewhat ISO? Isn't there going to be concerns about the spacing between Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox? Yes. But DeMar DeRozan, he's appeared in more games. He took almost 3 threes a game. Yeah, it wasn't albeit it wasn't at a great, efficiency, but he's still taking them where you have to respect him. He's a genuine scorer you can rely upon. He's clutch. He can be a secondary playmaker. And the idea of De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis out there, and they still have Malik Monk off the bench. They still have Keon Ellis. I kind of like this team. And they still have Trey Lyles. So I personally think that there wasn't a better player. The Kings were stuck. The roster, if they don't make a move like this, the Kings are stuck. And for a team like the Pistons, they walk away with Harrison Barnes and Tobias Harris next to Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson and Jaden Ivey. That's fantastic. I think that's awesome for the Pistons in this scenario if they're the third team. But anyway, whatever third team takes it, I think that's it. I think the Bulls would be more interested in Kevin Huerter than Harrison Barnes. Unless they want to win now still, then they take Harrison Barnes and then you send Kevin Huerter to the Pistons. Same idea. But for the Bulls, they take Kevin Huerter because they want to retool and just shooting and his deal. He's a guy you can flip easier. He has more value, in my opinion, than Barnes. But what do you guys think? I think when you look at, again, if we continue mainly to look at it from the Bulls, everyone's going to be like, wow, you're giving no picks up for DeMar. The whole thing, look at all the sign-in trades. Klay Thompson, it was just a second-round pick. Look at all the trades and sign-in trades. That's what's happening. You're like, well, DeMar's better. Dude, but he's a free agent. He would have gone there already. So at this point, there's no leverage or anything like that. So for him, he's just going to go there. And I think, to me, it makes the most sense that to see a guy like DeMar DeRozan, hearing that he's probably going to go on a sign-in trade to the Kings, I like it. I like him. I think it's a good fit, and that the Kings and Bulls, the DeMar DeRozan sign and trade, I like that. I like it. I think it's a good fit. And is there defensive concerns? Yes, but you have Keon Ellis, and that's one guy that, if we look at the depth charts right now, I think they're able. First off, Mike Brown made it a focus last offseason to sacrifice some of their top five. Like, they were basically the best offense, and they were like, look, we'd rather be a middle, a top 15 offense instead of a top 5 offense, and be almost a top 15 defense. And I think that was a smart sacrifice. And Mike Brown's also a defensive head coach, Spurs lineage. So for them, I don't have too much of a concern about it. And so now the idea is it would be De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray. It'd probably be De'Aaron Fox, Keon Ellis is the backcourt. DeMar DeRozan at small forward, Keegan Murray at power forward, Domantas Sabonis center, Trey Lyles and Alex Len are the backup front court. Then you have Malik Monk and Devin Carter as your backup guards. And you would assume at this point, Colby Jones or Chris Duarte or the newly acquired Jalen McDaniels is going to help out at the wing forward positions. And besides that, they have Mason Jones, Isaac Jones, who's a jump out the gym freak. And then, a guy I love, Isaiah Crawford from Louisiana Tech. So I like that. And if you look at it from the Pistons standpoint, as we said earlier, you get another guy to help out, our man, Mr. Cade Cunningham, who's literally had no help all his career, and you get him basically for free. So you now imagine Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, or Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren. That's a lineup, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lineup. How far it gets you to win games, I don't know. But it's better than what they have now. So, and then you would still have Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Isaiah Thompson, Bobby Klintman. I like that deal. And for the Bulls, you walk away with the idea of having Wendell Moore added, and obviously Kevin Huerter in this sense, or Harrison Barnes, which would then be Josh Giddey, Kobe White. I guess Zach LaVine's still on the team. Pat Will, Nikola Vucevic, Jalen Smith, Torrey Craig, Booz Ellis, Dalen Terry, Ayo DeSumo, either Huerter or Barnes, Javon Carter, Beatem, Lonzo Ball, Julian Phillips, Sanogo, and Andrew Funk. Like, I like that. I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I feel like this is actually one of the most fair trades that could possibly be out in the market, but that's my thoughts about that. Bye.